Hello, I'm Megan Catherin of Megan Catherin Enlightenment. This is my version of enlightenment. And I wanted to bring through a current take on what is happening at the moment. What is happening? Okay. For those who are super sensitive to the energies, who are open and receptive, who are growing into that knowledge and that experience, there is a lot going on for you. And it can feel like you are stuck in some sort of gooiness. Okay. Now, I don't mean it as it is. I mean it as in energetically, everything is bubbly and you're not sure when to rise to something, when to head towards something, how to go with something. So it's like you kind of still got the old matrix and the old world of how we used to do things, particularly in our spiritual nature, and how we want to do them, what we're moving to as new earth beings and spirited beings, what the light is bringing us. So we're in this kind of bubble of energy movement. And so we feel like we're kind of at times got our foot in one and then our foot in the other. You kind of see the light and you're like, oh, I want that. But when you get there, you're like, oh no, that's actually taking me to something old. And you might try it on and you might discover it does not suit you. I know of a few people who've been going through this lately. And as one of my girlfriends said, I feel like I passed the test when I said no. I tried it, my body didn't like it, and I was gonski. So it's interesting to feel like, oh, I made a mistake. You're not making mistakes. There never is a mistake. It is an ability and a timing and a learning. Okay, so you're discovering more and more in a very, I'm standing in this energy, feeling it state and deciding that doesn't suit me, or it carries too much old, even though there's a lot of new in it. Oh yeah, there's all these awake people and they get it, but they're still perpetuating the old. So it's kind of like, nah, that doesn't feel right. I don't want to play that. So it's that thing where it sort of ticks a lot of boxes and then it goes, it's not the level I want to be in new creation with people who are feeling that new energy, building in that framework, and I want to build with them. Now, it isn't possible to completely be in that framework for a good 8 to 10 years, right? So at this stage, we have elements of the old, but we live in those lightly. So you may be in a business, not to say business will not exist, but, you know, the business may carry elements of the old, of the limited and the entangled, you know, but you'll live lightly in that. And in that thing, it's more of a balance of there's a lot more good energy flow, new energy flow, creative energy flow, mystic energy flow, then there is entanglement layered with the gunk that is fear. Okay, so those things have been built on that, built on ideals that, for instance, talking business or jobs, for me, it's what I call the economic machine. You know, it's this grinding thing that just seems to perpetuate itself. You can't untangle it. You can't figure it out. You look at it and just go, wow, you know, it doesn't matter what someone's intentions here are. If they're not energetically aligned to the new flow, they are still perpetuating the old. Okay, and it's a slog to try and be an awoke person in that, right? It's really hard. So fighting within the machine is not worth the bother. Okay, it is unhealthing you. You are not rising and changing your DNA to become the mystic being that is going to explore what is it possible for humans to do now, what sort of magical energetic capabilities and telepathic amazement, et cetera, can we actually build into our worlds, right? That's not going to be happening in that area because you're too busy being pulled down by and layered upon with the old. So don't fight the fight in there. Start to go back into yourself and look for, where is that energy? How can I get that to flow through me? Where is that new? Who do I need to let go of in my guide team? Okay, not necessarily knowing who, but what is it that, you know, they aren't guiding you. They're kind of ensconced in the old framework. I need the new framework. I need some new guides, right? And your guides are learning too. So some of them may come with you, but with an overseer to help them from the new earth, right? So there is this change up of a lot of what we're doing. And it's this thing of, if I'm slogging, and just feels like it's so hard in my body all the time, and yet I'm very spiritually connected and awake, I'm sorry, but you're still in the old framework and you're not flowing enough energy. Now, this happens a lot to mediums who have their team, their people that speak through them or that they connect to, and now they've limited themselves. They're not open to something new. They're not open to somebody else coming in and maybe changing the dynamics of the team. You know, it's something you have to comprehend and speak with, but it comes from you and your heart and your heavenly body and your choices from a very essence point of view. So flowing those energies. Now, for those of you who aren't sort of that connected, right, it's like, okay, I'm very connected on a flowy level or an energy level, but I don't get words. I don't have conversations with spirit. I don't know, whatever, right? That for you then is about just flowing the energy, but knowing that this energy is lifting you, changing you, bringing in different things, and stuff is happening because you are flowing these new energies. So it is an intention to have the new energy, which is available now. Hey, all you light workers, grid workers, Stargate people, blah, 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 all of you did this amazing work to get us to where we are. But 2020 and 2022 were pivotal points where we went, well, hey, the energies are locked in. Now we need to expand and grow on them. We need to get them flowing through us and bring us up to that 5th dimensional body level, the mystic being. Okay. Right. Oh, okay. I didn't know half of that. It's all interesting. I've got literally the gap, moving across, floating, flexing with others' energetics. Okay, that was it. All right, the purple zone. No idea what that was when I wrote it, but a new version of self coming through. Crown energy, think crown energy in chakra terms, but it's more than that, okay? And basically, what is this? Okay, so a new version of self coming through. So what they're saying to me is that we have opened up the old matrix. Light has been bursting through, all this stuff, right? And coming in, right? And yeah, we're moving the dust, okay? So all of this has allowed a new earth framework to begin, a new world, right? The world works very differently, or the worlds work very differently in how we think they do. But in energetic terms, there is a space and we are building in it, and we are slowly aligning to it and becoming it. We have a framework, we're fleshing it out, and we're building into it. So that purple zone, it's a time frame that we've hit. It's I kind of see a solar kind of movement happening in sense of solar movement of the purple zone. Now, because I'm an interior designer by trade, and I don't know, that's just something to show me that I'm an intercolor person, right? I read it as color. But it's a sense of frequency. It's a sense of growth. It's a sense of spiritual newness. So thinking of the crown and seeing the energies coming and bursting forward, that's our connection to source, right? And we're looking to open that right up. There are other chakras that we had to open up. But we get to a point where we actually fully are ensconced in this loving energies. We become the orb, let's say, and our body is able to bring in a direct line to source. And we are actually bringing in new self. Now, that might require a few layers or a few aspects or types, or I can only take so much of this consciousness, and then I'll take more, and then I'll take more, okay? And it carries our essence, it carries our alignment, it carries our newness, okay? So we're actually opening up to that. We're we are in the purple zone, or we're headed into the purple zone. I get it's not far away. The solstice, that's it, the 21st, right, of December. That's the point where we enter the purple zone. Okay, the purple zone is probably 3 or 4 months worth. You'll be living that version of opening up to new self. Okay, so there may be, if you're quite awake and aware and good at meditating, you get that real observer self, and then you get that sort of child self, and that can't, you kind of like 4 or 5 people at once sometimes. Okay, that will actually start to blend a little more, and you'll actually start to have more of a one self coming through. And that's why someone who's a medium may sort of say, oh, this is this spirit that's outside of me. And yet this spirit may be an aspect of you, or may need to go to a higher level of this spirit. It still may be the spirit you deal with, but in a higher version, different version. For instance, my father passed, and I later recognized part of him, or his essence, is in my nephew. Okay, so there is this kind of connection to the one essence that we're speaking of in heavenly being. Okay, but it has a different version of itself, a different framework, a different, I'm choosing this kind of parents, this kind of experience, this kind of stuff, and I'm learning from that. Okay, so some might call that the soul, but I'm taking it to the one soul or the one source. So you're a facet of source. That's where we're more connected to in fifth dimensional beingness. So letting go of some of these old versions of connection, and there may be a bit of grief in letting go of some of the connection. As I said, those who aren't necessarily the medium types who can have chats, you may find that you are grieving things and you don't really know why. There's a lot of tears or anger or feelings. Feelings. No, I'm melting in my feelings. Yeah, we got those things happening. Okay, but they'll be short-lived. And you know how to bring yourself back up. You know what to do. Pass through it and come back up. Reach out to your friends, reach out to people who can help you, and bring that energy back. Okay. There's lots of ways of self-caring in that. And sometimes we even have to just step away and go, okay, there's this energy happening, stuff's going on, I can feel it, right? But I'm just going to go and be human and do stuff. Or I'm just going to go chill out on the TV, or go do the dishes, have a shower, blah 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 blah. Even when there's other things to be done, sometimes we kind of have to distract ourselves from what's happening, okay, and stay out of that for a while and just let it happen. Okay, so there is this purple zone, a new version of self coming through. Obviously we all have different versions and different levels, and wherever you're at, whatever your enlightenment space is at the moment, that's happening for you. Guess what? We've entered the purple zone. I don't know what that is and why I'm doing that. But anyway, okay. So, it will bring about some illness. What have I got here? Offness or mishaps to take us into ourself. Okay. So I don't know what those are, and they could be very little, mild, depending on what it is. But when we're sometimes taken off kilter like that on a body version, you get a heavy cold and you feel rubbish, or you're feeling off, your tummy's yuck, you whatever, you may even have the mishap, oh crap, I drank too much and now I feel like, and you're off, you can't, your body's kind of getting taken out of itself so that energy can come through. Okay, it's like letting go on some level. It also is a detox on another level. In terms of mishaps, it may be physical. You might bang yourself, hurt yourself, those sorts of things. Things may not line up. Things might not happen. So you might be like, okay, I'm trying to make something happen, but it's coming from the version of me that I'm hanging on to, and I need to let go and allow the new version of me to step through and guide and embody. And I'll find that I have different actions, different behaviors, different reasons for doing things. Time, friends. Yeah, time. I hate that one. Okay. My final one here is releasing old using the sovereignty. Better learn how to say this. We're in the sovereignty zone. Sovereignty, that's it. We're in the sovereignty energies at the moment. They are really high. So that is the red spectrum. If you're coming into my Patreon membership, that's what we're heading into for our online Zooms and meetups. So we will be working with that in activations. And you can certainly look at my Patreon stuff down here and come and join. There is tier 1, which is mystic body, tier 2, which is the mystic, living the mystic way, and tier 3 is actually working with the lights on high to upgrade, okay, and get that flow, right? So sovereignty, red spectrum, definitely, I mean, it's always available, but it's definitely at the forefront at the moment. So what is happening in sovereignty? We've got the sovereignty claim, our self-claim to different paths. All right. So there is this part of us at the very essence of heavenly body, heavenly source, heavenly life, that is ready to make a claim, right? It's claiming a new path. It's claiming new ways. Because we, the human, go, oh, but the only way is, and we look out into the world and we see the external and we go, oh, it's this step, that step, this thing, that thing. Oh, I couldn't possibly do this because I don't have the money, or I couldn't possibly be in that sort of thing because people wouldn't let me, or, you know, so it's all that outer thing. Make the claim within. Now, this is a very heartfelt thing, okay? So allow space for your heart. So you may have something that has to kind of drift away from you in order to let that heart come, but have the intention, I am claiming my sovereignty. I am making the sovereign claim for a new path. Now, if you like your path, stay where you are, all right? But if there's something in it that's saying, oh, I need to upgrade my path, I need to move more to a new earth path, I'm in design rather than just living what is already created and building upon that, shifting it around, breaking it down and rebuilding it. Instead, I'm in design. We're in the new design. I'm a life designer. Let's make that happen. Where does that fit for me? Universal workings, how do I fit? I would like to make a sovereign claim into where I'm going next and what you can bring to me and how I can do that. Now, I don't want to be caught up in somebody else's story, all that old soul stuff, monad stuff, group stuff, right? I don't want to do that. Celestial, blah, 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 blah. I'm finished. I'm making a personal sovereign claim to bring my essence through, to embody my multidimensional self, and to act upon that and allow the energy flow and see what happens in the exploration of being the new luminous Homo sapien, Homo luminous, illuminated being, right? I don't know, words, try and find words. So let's be in this sovereign claim. Let's say, I don't really know what it looks like, because truth be told, you don't. You don't know what to do yet. If you're trying to think with your human brain, you can kind of have a concept. Oh, I'm going to be able to telepathically do something, or possibly this, or possibly that, right? Or I can imagine myself in the health and the wealth of satisfaction and spirit and nature and whatever that actually produces. But I'm open to the provision of that. I am being sourced with that. I will flow with the universal workings and follow that energy. That is actually a sovereign claim. Seeing if there's any more in that. Nope, I get to finish. I feel like I could talk more, but you know what? That's stuff that happens in the membership, the Mystic coursework. But if you want to join Megan Catherin Enlightenment Patreon, you can come on in. It's a monthly thing. Have a look. You'll figure it out. Otherwise, yeah, comments in the YouTube here and let me know what you thought of that. If you understand it, what else you want to add to that? Any queries or questions? Those queries and questions may be something that I can build on later as another YouTube or whatever. But even just asking the question to me, you're really asking the question to the universe, right? And let's see how it brings it to you, brings you answers. And sometimes the answers are not here. The answers are energetic, and you need to be open for that energy flow. As I said, right? You may feel more of the sovereign energy and you don't even know. You're like, yeah, there's something going on. Energy's happening. It must be red because I'm seeing lots of red. Or, you know, how's the universal working showing that to you? How's it speaking to you? What are you feeling? What are you sensing? What are you getting as a concept or a thought? And don't try and think it all out. Let it be a bit piecemeal until it becomes something, because that's the in-standing to understand. Okay, you must stand in the energy, allow the flow, and at some point your brain will give it some sort of understanding. You get hints from the universe, you get hints from your spirit, and you put something together that is more of a human facet that can be discussed and passed on. But time takes time. You've got to actually accept that first. All right, beautifuls. Thank you for being here with me. Good luck with whatever's coming up. As I said, it's an interesting month. Stay safe. Look after yourself. Have the intentions. If you watched this video, have the intentions so you don't end up in heavy illness or heavy mishaps or any other versions of that. You know, a lot of sadness, whatever. Have the intention. Okay, I'm being supported. I was shown this. I wasn't shown this for no reason. This is me being shown that I am supported. So it doesn't have to be heavy. It can be with ease. All I need to do is accept the energies, listen to those and follow those, and honor myself, my body, my needs. All right, that's it. No more. Stopping now. Okay. Love ya. Bye. Oh, yep. Doing the weird thing. See you, darling. Bye, bye, bye.